Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for July the 6th, 2011. Now our first trade tonight is going to be in the Goldcorp-GG stock. Now what we're looking at is buying this. We've got looks like a pretty decent opportunity forming here. We have our predicted short, medium, and long-term differences breaking above the zero line. We have our predicted MACD and our predicted true strength indicator both crossing the trigger in oversold territory. Now what we're going to do is we can see that we've closed at 49.31. Our key level is 48.07, 48.14, and 48.53. Those are our key pivot points. Our triple EMA cross is just about to complete. Now what we're going to do here is go in and look at all three of the major crossovers from vantage point, starting with, of course, the short-term crossover. So we can see that that's crossed over. That confirms our move up. We're going to look at our medium-term crossover. You can see that it's crossed over for about 5 or 6 days now. And our long-term crossover, which is also very important, has, again, it too has crossed the trigger. Now, when looking at these crossovers, we can see our medium-term crossover here is basically hugging that trigger, but it is breaking higher. So with that said, now that we've identified that we've got a buy signal here from vantage point, we now want to go in and have a look at that daily report and see if we can fine tune that entry point. Now for tomorrow, we can see our low is 48.77, so we can have a relatively tight stop on this trade down around 47.50. Our target is going to be 49.60. 49.65 will be the intraday target. Your longer term, medium term traders, we could be looking at a move higher on this this particular stock. Now we can see there is a very strong correlation, obviously, to gold. Gold making a big move this week, not surprisingly. So with that said, we want to look at the key levels on this and be able to get in and out of this trade. Now your intraday traders, they would be targeting again the 49.50 in and around that area. But your medium and longer term traders, they should be looking potentially back towards this 55, 56 area. Now that's a very, very good move if we can get this. And if gold holds in this 1480, 1490 area, then the Goldcorp stock should continue to push higher back towards that $50 mark. So very a decent opportunity on this particular stock. I like the correlation to the again, to the metals. The gold is very strong, so this particular stock is good compared to some of your other tech stocks and things of that nature. Now that's our first position for tonight. Now our second position is going to be in the foreign exchange market, specifically the British pound US dollar. Now we have a considerable amount of resistance on this particular currency pair, building in the 160, 161.33, 161.50 area. We can see here from vantage point we are in oversold territory. We've got a mixed signal here on the predicted short, medium, and long-term differences. But again, I think we're going to hold resistance here, and the dollar is going to have a little bit of a rally pre-non-farm payroll. So I wouldn't say we're counter-trend by going short. It just depends on how you look at it. So what we've closed at 160.54. Our key level 161.33. 160.78 and 160.66. Now closing below all three of the vantage point predicted moving averages is still somewhat of a bearish scenario. My only concern is that we're somewhat oversold here. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to go in and look at the crossovers. Our short-term crossover is breaking back down to the downside. Our medium-term crossover, however, is to the upside, and our long-term crossover remains to the downside. So we have a very mixed signal here. So with that said, we were going to stay with the primary trend, which is down. So from here, we're going to go into our daily report and see if we can fine-tune this entry a little bit better. Now, again, we are going to experience volatility with non-farm payrolls this week. So let's have a look at this. We've got 161.16, 159.82. 161.16 maybe, that's a decent entry point, but I would assess this anywhere between 161.16 and 161.80 is a very good entry point. So your aggressive traders can go in on the 161.16 area, However, we have the ADP report tomorrow, so your less aggressive traders, they could hold out for a little bit higher towards 161.50, 161.80 to allow for, the market noise, so to speak, which we can certainly expect a lot of that this week with what's happening in the Eurozone, the non-farm payrolls, the ADP, a lot of things coming together here. So we want to be very, very cautious of, how to play this. Now, looking at the Vantage Point predicted high and predicted low, you can see the red line is the predicted high, the black line the predicted low. Essentially, we're running pretty much flat on the pound dollar. So again, we're going to stick with the primary trend. We're going to let the market push up a little bit, and when it moves up into that area, we're going to use that as an opportunity to short. So with that said, those are the market positions for July the 6th, 2011. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.